Well, 2 weeks ago, we introduced you to a Sacramento River Cats player with baseball in his blood. Mike Yastrzemski, grandson of Red Sox great and Baseball Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski, has been playing with the Giants AAA affiliate over at Wrigley Field, hitting the ball well all season long. And, well, we figured it'd only be a matter of time before Yaz earned his first big league call-up. But take a listen to what he told our own Walt Gray before getting his major moment.
I'm loving it here. It's a great city, easy to get around, great people, really comfortable city. We talk about my swing and how things are going every once in a while. If I'm scuffling, he's always got some cues to help me go back to where I've been and where he knows my swing works. But as far as that goes, he lets me have my own career, and I've been very grateful for that.
You're looking at Yaz this afternoon at Oracle Park. 8 years in the minors without a big league call-up until today. The Giants hosting Arizona. Yaz scoring his first big league run in the 7th, but he went 0 for 3 at the plate with 2 strikeouts. The Giants designated Mac Williamson for assignment to make room for Yaz on the roster as you see him touching home base. The G-men were bullied by the D-backs in this series and today as well. Falling 18-2 last night, they followed that up with a 10-4 loss to the D-backs this afternoon. Meanwhile, ABC 10 is your home for the NBA Finals, tipping off this Thursday with coverage beginning at 5:30 right here on ABC 10. The Toronto Raptors are looking to wrap up their Eastern Conference Finals series as we speak. They have a 3-2 series lead on the Milwaukee Bucks with Game 6 in Toronto going on right now. The Golden State Warriors are tuning in to find out who they will be facing in their 5th straight NBA Finals appearance. The Warriors made quick work of the Portland Trail Blazers in their Western Conference Finals series, completing a sweep with an overtime win on Monday. They did that without superstar Kevin Durant, who's been sidelined with a calf injury since the second-round series against the Rockets. Durant is expected to miss the start of the finals. No timetable for his return to basketball activities either. And lately, there's been a lot of conversation about whether or not the Warriors are a better team without Kevin Durant, who is a free agent this summer. The 2-time NBA Finals MVP talked to the media for the first time since his injury and weighed in on that narrative.
It's hard to get away from that, because I watch the games and you watch the lead up into the games, and that's all everybody talking about. And my perspective is just like I want to focus on rehab, but I also want to be a fan of my teammates. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy, my teammates from a different view. As a player, I think about that. I'm just like, that's just not true. That's not facts when it comes to from a basketball perspective.
And, of course, we've got continuing coverage from Oakland as the Warriors continue their run at a three-peat in their final season at Oracle Arena. So be sure to check out our NBA playoff playlist on our ABC 10 YouTube channel for post-game reaction and NBA Finals coverage you won't find anywhere else. We're certainly looking forward to making a couple trips out to Oakland to see if the Warriors can win their 4th championship in 5 years, Mike. ABC 10 is your home for the NBA Finals, tipping off this Thursday with coverage beginning at 5:30 right here on ABC 10. We already know the Warriors are in, and tonight the Raptors were looking to wrap up their Eastern Conference Finals series against the Milwaukee Bucks with a win at home tonight in Game 6. To Toronto we go. Kawhi Leonard looking to lead the Toronto Raptors to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. MVP candidate Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks won the first 2 games of this series in Milwaukee, but facing elimination in the North tonight, the Greek Freak finished with 21 points and 11 rebounds, but it was Kawhi Leonard who led all scorers tonight, putting an entire nation on his back with 27 points, 17 rebounds, and that emphatic dunk. And the Raptors eliminate the top-seeded Bucks with a 100-94 win in Game 6. Toronto advancing to the NBA Finals again for the first time in NBA history. So the NBA Finals are heading to Canada for the first time ever on Thursday when the Warriors travel to Toronto. Tip-off for Game 1 set for 6 p.m. again right here on ABC 10. The Warriors superstar Kevin Durant is expected to miss the start of the finals, the 5th straight appearance for the Warriors. He's been sidelined with a calf injury since the second-round series against the Rockets, and there's no timetable for his return. And lately there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Warriors are a better team without Kevin Durant, who is a free agent this summer. The 2-time NBA Finals MVP talked to the media for the first time since his injury and weighed in on that outside noise.
It's hard to get away from that, because I watch the games and you watch the lead up into the games, and that's all everybody talking about. And my perspective is just like I want to focus on rehab, but I also want to be a fan of my teammates. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy, my teammates from a different view. As a player, I think about that. I'm just like, that's just not true. That's not facts when it comes to from a basketball perspective.
Now, 2 weeks ago, we introduced you to a Sacramento River Cats player with baseball in his blood, Mike Yastrzemski, grandson of Red Sox great and Baseball Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski, has been playing for the Giants AAA affiliate over at Raleigh Field, and we figured it'd only be a matter of time before Yaz earned his big league call-up the way he's been playing this season, but take a listen to what he told our own Walt Gray before finally getting his moment in the majors.
I'm loving it here. It's a great city, easy to get around, great people, really comfortable city. We talk about my swing and how things are going every once in a while. If I'm scuffling, he's always got some cues to help me go back to where I've been and where he knows my swing works. But as far as that goes, he lets me have my own career, and I've been very grateful for that.
You're looking at Yaz this afternoon at Oracle Park. 8 years in the minors without a big league call-up up until today. The Giants hosting Arizona. Yaz scoring his first big league run in the 7th, but he went 0 for 3 at the plate with 2 strikeouts. The Giants designating Mac Williams for assignment to make room for Yaz on the roster. The G-men have been bullied by the D-backs in this series after an 18-2 loss yesterday. They fall 10-4 this afternoon. Now over in Oakland, the red-hot A's hosting the Mariners. Marcus Semien and Chad Pinder powering the A's today. Both players going 2 for 4, both scoring a run and recording an RBI in this one. The A's haven't lost a game since May 14th when they last faced Seattle. And the A's hold on to beat the Mariners today 6-5. That is 8 wins in a row for Oakland. So while baseball's not looking good over in San Francisco, they're having a good time over in Oakland, Mike.
Yeah, 8's not bad. All right, thanks, Lina. We'll be right back after the break.
All right, don't look now, but the Oakland A's are the hottest team in baseball after a 7-1 win over the Mariners today. The Oakland A's have won 9 straight games. And again, the hottest team in baseball, they still got a ways to go in their standings in their division, but they are playing well in Oakland. Meanwhile, the Giants are trending the opposite way at Oracle Park, closing out their series against the Diamondbacks, who've just been bullying the San Francisco pitching staff, outscoring the G-men 28-6 so far in this series. One bright side, that's Mike Yastrzemski, grandson of Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. He was with the River Cats. He got his first big league call-up in 8 years in the minors today, and today he got his big league hit for the first time in his career, but the D-backs gets swept, the Giants rather, in their 5th straight game. The Giants fall short by a final of 6-2. All right, it is Indy 500 weekend. This was the scene in 2016 when Nevada City native Alexander Rossi got to kiss the bricks after a remarkable come-from-behind win in the Indianapolis 500. Today, the 27-year-old had a shot at winning the greatest spectacle in racing for a second time in 3 years. Rossi, you see zigzagging here in the blue and yellow Napa Auto Parts car. He lost his cool a couple times in this race, getting frustrated that he can't pass here. Rossi would end up going head-to-head with Frenchman Simon Pagenaud, and the 2 drivers swapping the lead 5 times in the final 13 laps of the race. But in the end, it's Simon Pagenaud holding off Nevada City's Alexander Rossi to win the Indy 500. Rossi coming in second after a frustrating finish at the Brickyard.
There's a lot of lapped cars that had no respect for what we were doing, so it's really unfortunate. Ultimately, I don't think it really made a difference at the end result, but yeah, with 50 laps to go and cars are 2 and 5 laps down and blocking, it's just disrespectful.
Rossi was extremely strong. He's been strong all month. I was really worried about him all race, and when I heard he was coming back, that was a big worry of mine. The strategy played out really well. It's just incredible to be able to achieve all the dream that you set for yourself.
And it looks like the Drake curse might be broken in historic fashion last night. All of Canada probably still reeling from the Raptors punching their ticket to the NBA Finals last night. For the first time in the franchise's 24-year history, they will play for an NBA championship, and they will be facing the Warriors, who are going for their 4th title in 5 seasons. The Raptors rattling off 4 straight wins to beat the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, an MVP finalist, no match for Kawhi Leonard, who has been a man on a mission throughout the postseason, his first in the Eastern Conference, and after leading the Raptors to a historic finals appearance, Amanda for you Wards has this to say.
I worked so hard to get to this point with the season I had last year. Just always betting on myself. Ended up coming here with a great group of guys, a lot of talent. All that hard work just put together, and then, now we're here, and it's exciting.
So the Warriors in Canada for Game 1 on Thursday right here on ABC 10, and we'll be making a couple trips out to Oakland for Games 3 and 4, guys.
All right, we'll be tuning in. Thanks so much, Lina.
Well, the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final are set, and we're gearing up for another exciting week in sports. Stick around, get caught up on what you need to know on Toyota Sports Extra in just a few minutes right here on ABC 10. Again, the NBA Finals set. The Warriors and the Raptors tipping off for the NBA Championship right here on ABC 10. We've got former Kings player turned radio analyst Henry Turner on the set to break down the series ahead of Thursday's game. Game 1. And it's Indy 500 weekend. Nevada City's own Alexander Rossi in the hunt for his second win in 4 years at the greatest spectacle in racing will show you how the local race car driver finished at Indianapolis. And the A's are the hottest team in baseball, but their Bay Area neighbors are trending the opposite way. We'll show you the big league debut for a former River Cats player and bring you the action from the ballpark. So close out your Sunday night with me and ABC 10's Kevin John on Toyota Sports Extra in just a few minutes. We'll be back with late news tonight after this.
You're watching Toyota Sports Extra.
Welcome to Toyota Sports Extra on ABC 10. Thank you for closing out your Sunday with us, and happy Memorial Day to all of you. Kevin John, Lina Washington here. We've got a lot to talk about. Don't look now, but the A's are the hottest team in baseball, while the Giants got bullied by the Diamondbacks at home today. We're taking you to the ball game in the Bay later in the show.
And vroom vroom, it's Indy 500 weekend, and Nevada City native Alexander Rossi had his sights set on his second win in 4 years. You don't want to miss the finish at the Brickyard.
But I'm telling you right now, it's hard to figure out the Golden State Warriors because they have so much.
The NBA Finals are set. The Warriors and the Raptors right here on ABC 10 starting Thursday. We have former Kings player turned analyst Henry Turner in studio, and we're making our NBA Finals predictions. That is where we begin tonight in Toronto, where history has been made. The Raptors punching their ticket to the NBA Finals. It took 6 games for them to get it done in their Eastern Conference matchup against the top-seeded Milwaukee Bucks. But after 24 years, the Raptors finally have their shot for the first time in franchise history at an NBA championship. Now, this time last year, Kawhi Leonard was in a well-documented showdown with the San Antonio Spurs after nearly missing the entire season. Now he's in Toronto, just 4 wins away from his second NBA title. Kawhi closing out this series with a game-high 27 points and 17 rebounds in front of a rowdy Raptors fan base, including Drake there. After dropping the first 2 games of the series in Milwaukee, the Raptors started rattling off 4 straight games to eliminate Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, who long held the best record in the NBA heading into the postseason. But the Greek Freak closing out his postseason, averaging 25 and 12. He is an MVP finalist. But the Raptors defense found a way to contain him, shooting just 38% in this game, as Kawhi Leonard powering his way through this series. Pascal Siakam in the running for most improved player this season. He is proving to be a factor as well for the Raptors, one of the best shooting teams in the game, and he is one of the best shooters in the team in Canada, as the Raptors close out this series against the Bucks by a final of 100-94 in Game 6. In the 6th, they are celebrating in the streets of Canada. The Raptors heading to the NBA Finals. Kawhi Leonard, as usual, can hardly contain his excitement.
You know, I worked so hard to get to this point with the season I had last year. You know, just always betting on myself. Ended up coming here with a great group of guys, a lot of talent. You know, all that hard work just put together, and then, you know, now we're here, and it's exciting.
All right, it's certainly exciting for all those Raptors fans in Canada, making their first finals appearance again in 24 years of franchise history. Their opponent, however, they've been there, done that at least 5 times already. Kevin, how did things shake out in the Western Conference compared to the East?
Well, yeah, just like you said, over in the Western Conference, it's been the exact same song for the last 5 years. The Warriors will be representing the Western Conference in the finals yet again. Now, just to put things in perspective, the last time the Warriors were not in the finals, Kawhi Leonard and Tim Duncan were playing together in San Antonio, Barack Obama was president, and Meghan Trainor was all about that bass. All right, yeah, that was back in the year 2014. Now the Warriors are looking to become the first team since the 2002 Lakers to pull off the coveted three-peat. The Warriors got here by sweeping the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals in a series where Steph Curry went absolutely berserk. The babyface assassin averaged just over 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists a game. Now, part of the reason why Steph was playing out of this world was because the shorthanded Warriors were without Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins. Remember, KD suffered a calf strain against the Rockets in the semifinals, while Cousins has been nursing his quad most of the postseason. Not to mention, Andre Iguodala is also out with a sore left calf. So with no timetable set for any of these players to return, Coach Kerr knows he will be dependent on Steph to get buckets.
He's just Steph Curry, so he has a couple bad games. He's probably going to have some good ones. So this is also the playoffs. You know, it's like everybody overreacts to everything. In the regular season, if you have a couple tough shooting nights, nobody cares. But in the playoffs, it's totally exposed. There's national stories. And then the flip side happens, right? Guy turns it around, and all of a sudden he's the greatest player of all time. Or we go back and forth. Not that any of you guys do this. This is other media members.
I do it all the time.
Oh, you do?
Curl always loves to have some fun with the media. Now that we know which teams will be playing for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, we're going to be talking much more about the matchup. Kings radio analyst and former NBA player Henry Turner joins us in 30 seconds to break down the NBA Finals.
We are back, and we want to welcome a friend of the show, Henry Turner. He is back on the stage here at Toyota Sports Extra. He's a former Sacramento Kings player, an Oakland native. You can hear him on 1140 Sports KHTK before every Kings game as a radio analyst. And again, Henry Turner, the high flyer, back with us. How you feeling, Henry?
I'm feeling good. I appreciate you guys having me back.
Of course.
It's great to have you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome Kevin John to the stage as well. You two meeting for the first time. But this is not the first time we are going to see the Warriors going to the NBA Finals. But two very different series in the West and the East. We saw a sweep in the West, a little bit of a battle in the East. Your takeaways from these conference final series first.
Wow, you know what? It's crazy this year because usually we always are watching what's going on in the West. The West has always been the high power in the NBA. But this year I think it was just the opposite. It was like all about the East Coast. What was going on in the East Coast? You had two MVP candidates going up against each other in the East Coast. And if you want to sprinkle in Kyrie, you can say that's three. So they had some firepower going on over there. And I actually watched the East Coast Finals more than I watched the West.
Absolutely. Well, now that the stage is set for the NBA Finals, obviously the Warriors and the Raptors going head-to-head, who do you have taking the series and in how many games?
Wow. I hate to predict, because for one.
But we're going to ask you through here.
For one, I'm an Oakland guy, so I definitely want the championship to come back to the Warriors. But I want to see a 7-game series. Okay. I hate seeing the series being shortened, especially when you have the finals, because you have the best of the best. These are the two juggernauts on both sides. So I want to see a knockdown, brawl, thriller in Manila type fight.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say I'll pick the upset. You know what? I'll go with the Raptors. I guess it's not an upset necessarily because the East has home court advantage, but I'll throw a little switch up in there. I'll give it to Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors because the way they closed out that final series, they are making history for Canada. They've got an entire nation on their back driving them throughout this series. So
they got Drake driving them as well.
And Drake. The curse might be broken now.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it 100%, but after winning this series, I'll say the Raptors in 6. How about that?
Drake's having fun, but I'm going to take Golden State.
All right, Kevin, who you got?
You know what? Sorry, Drake, if you're watching, but I'm going with the Warriors as well. I mean, this team just has too much firepower, and you've seen the way that they played with KD out, DeMarcus out, and everyone. This looks like the 73-win team that we saw a few years ago. So I'm definitely going with the Warriors. I know that the Raptors are a great team. I know Kawhi is playing out of his mind right now, and he's going to make it hard as heck, and it'd be a nightmare for the Warriors. But I see it going about 6 games, and I see the Warriors taking it all.
All right, so Warriors in 6, Raptors in 6, Warriors in 7. You got Warriors in 6.
Warriors in 6. I want to see it go 7, but I got Warriors in 6.
All right, so we see it as a 6-game series. However, you mentioned them playing without Kevin Durant, without DeMarcus Cousins, without Andre. I mean, those are 3 all-stars. Do you think they're going to be able to match up without those 3 guys on the floor?
We don't know how long those guys are going to be out because you have to think about it. This is the finals.
Yes.
I mean, you almost have to be in a coma if you're a basketball player not to want to play in the finals. And I feel so bad for Boogie Cousins because I know for a fact that he would love to be out on this stage trying to get it done. But when you go back and talk about the basketball team themselves, like Kevin just said, they just rewind. They went back to that 72 game team. They know how to win this game. And when I watch Toronto and I watch Milwaukee go at it, They went at it a dogfight. It was tit for tat. They had to figure each other out. But I'm telling you right now, it's hard to figure out the Golden State Warriors because they have so much.
We can't let you leave as the Kings radio analyst without talking a little bit about our own player, rookie Marvin Bagley, making the first team with the other top 5 draft picks of last year. What have you seen out of this rookie this year?
I'll tell you what, the Sacramento Kings have a gem in Marvin Bagley III. The way this young man came out and played basketball, of course, early on, everybody jumped into the Luka Doncic pool.
Of course.
And I think that was because Luka was getting the major minutes out there on the floor. As I watched Marvin Bagley play and he started getting more and more meaningful minutes, this young man started putting in some major numbers. He started playing some very good basketball. If money bags go in, take care of business, have a good workout this year, and come back out this exact same year, sophomore year, look out.
We are certainly in very good hands with Henry Turner. We want to thank him for joining us here on Toyota Sports Extra. Again, catch him on Sports 1140 KHTK before every Kings game, occasionally right here on ABC 10 as we continue our NBA Finals coverage. When we come back on Toyota Sports Extra on ABC 10, the hottest team in baseball is rooted in Oakland. We'll show you how the A's managed to keep their winning streak going this weekend.
Yes, and a Rivercats player with the legendary baseball bloodline finally gets his big league call up. We'll show you how Mike Yastrzemski looked for the Giants.
Well, spoiler alert, here is what Mike Yastrzemski looked like for the Giants in our Toyota top play after 8 years in the minors. This outfielder recording his first big league hit in San Francisco with his wife and family watching. Go back to first, Mike. A memorable moment in the majors for Mike Yaz, our Toyota top play. All right, switching gears to baseball. The last 8 games, the A's have been unstoppable. The hottest team in all of the majors coming into today's series finale with the Mariners having won 8 straight, looking to make it 9 in a row this afternoon at the Coliseum. To Oakland we go, a beautiful day for baseball, and Josh Bagley had himself quite the day this afternoon. After homering in the 2nd inning, Bagley following that up with this 2-run double in the 7th. Bagley had 3 RBI today, 31 on the season, leading the American League catchers. And Matt Chapman also homered for the second straight day for the A's, who go on to win this one 7-1 over the Mariners, picking up their 9th straight win so far in the season. Here is the player of the game.
I think I'm just out here trying to have fun, and I've been around a little while, and this is my first opportunity in a few years to be out here on a daily basis. So honestly, just trying to enjoy it while it lasts and have some fun with the guys.
Do you indeed love pina coladas?
Yeah, why not? On the beach.
Get yourself an umbrella, folks, and drink up.
All right, Oakland fans enjoying it, drinking up, and they are currently sitting 2nd in the AL West. The A's continue their run at division opponents when they welcome the Angels for a 3-game series next. And while the A's are red hot, things aren't looking so hot for the ball club across the bay, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right, Lina. They're definitely not drinking up with the Giants. Now, even though it's been pretty bad for them, there is a feel-good moment coming from this series. 2 weeks ago, we introduced you to a Sacramento Rivercats player with baseball in his blood, Mike Yastrzemski, grandson of Red Sox great and Baseball Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. Say that 6 times fast. Now, he has been playing for the Giants AAA affiliate over at Raleigh Field, hitting the ball well all season. We figured it'd only be a matter of time before Yaz earned his first big league call. But take a listen to what he told our very own Walt Gray before finally getting his major moment in the majors.
Loving it here. It's a great city, easy to get around, great people, really, really comfortable city. We talk about my swing and how things are going every once in a while. If I'm scuffling, he's always got some cues to help me go back to where I've been and where he knows my swing works. But as far as that goes, he lets me have my own career, and I've been very grateful for that.
All right, well, the Giants trending the opposite way at Oracle Park, closing out their series against the Diamondbacks, who have just been bullying the San Francisco pitching staff, outscoring the G-men 28-6 so far in this series. If there's one bright side, it's this moment from Mike Yastrzemski. Mike was with the Rivercats up, as we just said, until he got his big league call-up right here. And today he got his first big league hit. You saw it earlier in our Toyota top play. The Giants get swept, though, unfortunately, by the D-backs and drop their 7th straight game by a final of 6-2.
That's the worst series of the year. Can't remember when we had 3 consecutive games with that kind of baseball we just played. Starters had a hard time getting the ball where they wanted. And Anderson was up today early. He finally made an adjustment, but along with the hits, the mistakes he made, now you throw in bad defense, and that's a recipe for what happened today. And, it's 3 games where we just played our worst ball.
Manager Bruce there, not mincing words. Mac Williamson was designated for assignment to make room on the roster for Mike Yastrzemski. The Giants head to Miami next. Now, when we come back on Toyota Sports Extra on ABC 10, Nevada City's own Alexander Rossi racing for his 2nd win in 3 years at the Indianapolis 500. You won't want to miss this exciting finish from the Brickyard.
And are you smarter than a high schooler? We'll introduce you to some whiz kids from Miraloma at this week's Sports Standout. All right, let's talk a little racing. To the Indianapolis 500 we go. More than 30 drivers vying to take home the checkered flag, kiss the bricks, douse some milk all over their face. Well, this was the scene in 2016 when Nevada City's own Alexander Rossi won the storied race for the first time. And today, the 27-year-old was looking to pick up his 2nd Indy 500 victory, but he would run into a little drama along the way. Rossi, as you see, zigzagging in the blue and yellow Napa Auto Parts car. He lost his cool a couple of times in this race, as you see him frustrated that he can't pass, shaking his fist there. Rossi would end up going head-to-head with Frenchman Simon Pagenaud, the 2 drivers swapping the lead 5 times in the final 13 laps of the race. But in the end, it's Simon Pagenaud and Penske holding off Nevada City's Alexander Rossi to win the Indy 500. Rossi coming in 2nd after a frustrating finish at the Brickyard.
There's a lot of lapped cars that had no respect for what we were doing, so it's really unfortunate. Ultimately, I don't think it really made a difference at the end result, but with 50 laps to go and cars are 2 and 5 laps down and blocking, it's just disrespectful.
Rossi was extremely strong. He's been strong all month. I was really worried about him all race, and when I heard he was coming back, that was a big worry of mine. The strategy played out really well. It's just incredible to be able to achieve all the dream that you set for yourself.
So great for Simon Pagenaud, becoming the first Frenchman in years to accomplish this feat. But of course, we got to feel for our guy, Alexander Rossi, being shorted almost there in the Indy 500. But he's still a driver, certainly to watch this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I definitely feel his pain, obviously, as he was trying to get around. But, he took it with a grain of salt. Yeah, I've seen other drivers get a little really frustrated and start to smack people and stuff. So at least he held it within. But at any rate, you can't win them all.
Yeah, well, we will see what Alexander Rossi can do in the rest of the IndyCar season. Of course, would have loved to have seen him dousing himself in milk for the 2nd time in 4 years after winning the 2016 Indy 500. All right, well, that is the 2nd consecutive year that a Penske driver has swept the month of May. Good for Simon Pagenaud, but of course not good for Alexander Rossi.
Exactly. I think he'll get some milk next time around, so we'll see. All right, to the golf course where there was no milk. Final round of the Charles Schwab Challenge concluded today in Fort Worth. All eyes were on Kevin Na. Great name, by the way, who had been playing well all week and entered the day with a 2-stroke lead. To Texas we go. Not a lot of suspense in this one. Early on, that guy right there, Jordan Spieth, missing the birdie putt. Spieth would finish the day at 5 under, good for a tie for 8th, but Sunday was all about Kevin Na. Now remember, on Friday, he recorded the best round of the tournament, and today he continued that dominance. After he birdied for the first 8 holes, he ended up shooting a 4 under 66, which was good enough to solidify victory for him. But check this out. With the win, he won a 1973 Dodge Challenger, and nice guy that he is, he actually ended up giving the car to his caddy.
I thought he might have given it to his kid there, maybe 16 years down the line.
I'm sure he probably took her to Chuck E. Cheese and spoiled her some other which way with all the earnings that he won from that. But, the 73 Challenger for your caddy, that's not a bad way for a caddy to celebrate, right?
No, not at all.
Caddies make pretty good money, too.
Yeah, and hey, you can win a car if you're good enough, too.
Exactly. All right. Now, this is his 3rd career PGA Tour win and his 2nd in just the last 10 months. Kevin is looking pretty good, I'd say.
All right, well, when we come back, we'll show you who's looking pretty good. These Miraloma High School students competing in the Superbowl of the Minds in this week's Sports Standout next. And we'll also show you this 7'7" player from Senegal, introducing you to the Kings pre-draft workout players next. All right, it's time to introduce you to this week's Sports Standout. Kevin, do you like Jeopardy?
Love Jeopardy.
All right, well, these Mira Loma High School students are getting ready to compete in a Jeopardy-like competition. It's called the Super Bowl of the Minds. They're part of the Quiz Bowl team. They're going to nationals in your old stomping grounds of Atlanta this weekend. Do you think you're smarter than these high schoolers, Kevin?
I know I'm absolutely no way even close smarter than these 9th graders.
Well,
I'm not even smarter than a 5th grader.
Well, they're going to give you a run for your money. I had a chance to read some of the questions they listened to this weekend, and they stumped me. And you guys are all 9th and 10th?
Yeah.
Pretty much?
We have some juniors, but they're not here today.
Gotcha. A kanatase contains a cluster with sulfur and this element. This element forms a blood red complex with thiocyanate ion. This...
Iron?
Correct. Ooh, these words are crazy. A 1,000-year gap in the city's archaeology was named after Frank Calvert, who began excavating it. This site's 7th archaeological layer is identified with the city of Wailusa. This ancient city has been identified with modern city of Hissarlik due to excavations of Heinrich Schliemann. For 10 points, name...
Is it Troy?
It is. Jeez. The exponential of minus the ratio of energy to this value times temperature gives the canonical ensemble probability factor. The thermodynamic beta is the reciprocal of this value times temperature. This value is the natural log of the number of microstates is equal to entropy. The gas constant divided by Avogadro's...
Boltzmann's constant.
Jeez, yes. Did those words mean anything to anyone else?
Yeah, that's...
Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Final question. A technique named for locking this quantity fixes the frequency of a laser in a multi-mode cavity. This kind of wave velocity equals the wavelength over the period and is contrasted with the group velocity. Vector is named for this...
Phase velocity?
Correct. Impressive, gentlemen. I don't even know what words were coming out of my mouth, but Davis High School also competed in the Quiz Bowl at Atlanta. Congratulations to both of those teams. We are back right after this.
All right, before we get out of here, let's talk some Sacramento Kings. They currently hold 3 picks in the 2nd round of next month's draft. And this week, the team held another round of pre-draft workouts with prospects from all over the world. And talent can be hard to come by in the 2nd round. But the draft's biggest player just might be available in the 2nd round this year. When I say big, this dude is massive. He also has the coolest name, Taco Fall. He's a center from Central Florida, was in town to work out for the Kings on Thursday. He's a 7'7" center from Senegal who made a big impact for UCF in the NCAA tournament.
Obviously, I've gotten a lot better running up and down the floor, moving laterally, but there's still the next step to take into that, especially playing the NBA. Everything needs rim protection. That's a given. You need someone that you can depend on night in, night out. That's going to keep people from coming into the paint all the time, and I feel like I can do that right now.
That is a very tall man. Now, you can find much more with Taco Fall and his full interview on our sports page of abc10.com.
And we, of course, have our NBA playoff playlist from Oakland as we have coverage from the NBA Finals Game 1 right here on ABC 10. Coverage beginning at 5:30 on Thursday. Kevin?
Lina, who you taking again?
Raptors in 6, Warriors in 6. Let us know who you got.
All right, let's make it do what it do. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Go Dubs.